Hi, this is Patty and welcome back to Educate Academy. Today we're going to take a form that I've created with some questions in it and we're going to make it into a self-grading quiz, or it could be a test. In order to make this a quiz, we're going to come up and hit the settings button. One of the things that teachers like to do is limit the response to just one. This means that your students will have to sign into Google, but if you're already in Google Classroom or they've been using Google Drive, you'll already be signed in, so that's not such a big deal. Under Presentation, you might want to shuffle the question order. This means that students that are sitting near each other won't be able to necessarily cheat off of another student because the questions may not be the same. The other thing that you might want to do is add a confirmation message. That means that the students, when they finish and they submit their quiz or test, it gives them an assignment or a website to go to or something to do so that they are quiet and busy and engaged until the rest of the students are finished. The last thing you need to do is to actually make this a quiz. And so you're going to turn this on, and that activates all these other question options. So under Release the Grade, you can opt to immediately release the grade as soon as the student hits submit. That way they'll see their grade and they can see what they missed, what the correct answers were, and what the point values were. And if you want to know more about them, you can just hover over the question mark. The other thing you can do is you can release the grades later. This is good if you're going to give this test or quiz to multiple classes. That way they don't know the right answers necessarily, and they can actually, get their grades later. This is good for when students are absent as well. That way they won't have other students giving them the correct answers as well. So having set that up, we're going to go ahead and click Save. It's going to save all of our settings, and then we're going to go in and look at how we actually give a point value and choose the actual right answer. You'll notice that, well, maybe you didn't notice, but email address wasn't here before. And the reason that this is here is because of some of the options that we gave. The option to give the grades later means that you have to have their email address in the form in order for it to email it to them. So you can change the settings and take this out, but that's not really that big a deal. All right, under Name, they're going to submit their name. There's no point value for that. And so we go to our first question. To turn this into a quiz question and to actually set up your points and your correct answer, you're going to come down here, click on the question, and click Answer Key. Up here at the top, you're going to give it a point value. It could be worth 5 points, 10 points, 1 point. That's up to you. And then you're going to click on the correct answer. And so once I've done that, I'm done setting up that question, and I need to go on to the next one. Then it asks, which holiday did George Washington cross the river? Well, it happened to be Christmas, and so we're going to click on Answer Key, click on Christmas, doing it in a different order. Doesn't really matter. And then I've set up that question. Come down to the next question, click on Answer Key, and we'll set up the point value. Since it's already highlighted, we're going to pick who it was that they were going to fight against. Next question, we're going to click on it, Answer Key, add the number of points, and then put the right answer. Now, on the last question, I added it as a bonus question just because I didn't know what else to put as a question. This one we're going to do a little different. It is going to be a short answer. We are going to click Answer Key. We are going to give it a number of points, and we're going to type the correct answer. We're going to put in New Jersey. We're also on this question. We're going to go back to editing the question, and I'm going to come down here to the 3 dots, and I am going to do a response validation on this. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the students to put in, it has to be put in the same way in order to get the right answer. I'm going to go here and change it from number to text. I'm going to leave it as contains. Your other options are doesn't contain, email address, or URL, and it will be different depending on what type of text or answer you choose. And then you're going to put in your answer. Now, if you don't put a custom error text, and it pops this up as they start to type the answer, it will give them the answer. So you want to make sure you put something in here. May not be a great hint, but it gives them something besides the answer. All right, so let's see how this actually works. We're going to go up here to Preview. This allows us to actually take the quiz. And so I'm going to come up here and put in my email address because it is required. And when I put in my email address, it popped up my name. And then I'm going to come down here and type, or actually answer the questions. Happen to know it was on Christmas Day. Here we'll go ahead and put the Trentonians, whatever they are. And we're going to put, I think he went to Princeton. And then, well, that's interesting. So anyway, what is my answer? It says this is a required question. I'm going to start typing in New Jersey, and notice that it puts my hint text. And like I said, you got to be careful with that. All right, hit submit, and we're done. Once you're done, I can go back to the quiz, and instead of being on questions, I can go to responses. And you'll see that I'm actually seeing the summary, and for each question, it's going to give me the average number of points. There was only one question, so as everybody starts taking this quiz, then you're going to see the average, the median, and the range of points. Then you're going to see the scores for each of your students, and it's going to tell you who responded. You'll see a list of names, and then you'll see a chart for each one of the questions. And the one that I got wrong, which I knew I got wrong, is that one, and then down here. You can actually go from summary to question. When you do this, I can see each question. There are 6 of them, including my name. And so I can see each one. I can see how many responded to it and how many points and things it's worth, what the right answer is, all that kind of stuff. And I can scroll through those. I can also see individual answers. So here I'm seeing my own test, and it says the score isn't released. It gives me my score, and I can actually scroll through. If I have a class of 30, I'll be scrolling through 30 kids. When I am ready to release all of the scores, now this release is not just mine, but everybody's, I can click on this release, and it's going to come up and ask me to put in a message, and it's going to show me who it's emailing. And then I can click on here to send the emails and release the grades. So, I definitely would type in a message. We'll go ahead and send that. I didn't need a message. I'll go ahead and open my email. Okay, you'll see on here that I got my release score, and it gives me my score, gives me the name of the test, and then I can click view, and then it will take me and show me which questions I got wrong and which questions I got right, what the point value was, and everything else. So this is really nice. That way they get the feedback. Now, you may be thinking that it's nice for them to get feedback immediately, and in some circumstances that works. But if you're actually taking this as a grade, and especially if it's a test and not a quiz, you may want to hold on to those grades until you make sure everybody has taken the test. We're going to go back to our test. Okay, when we come back to our test, I've had a lot of people ask me how they can keep students at home, whether they're in Google Classroom or in some other learning management system, from taking the test, because I've put it in there for my students. There is a way to do that. You can actually put a new question in. I'm going to add a question. I need it to be right where it is, and then after the question, I'm going to add a section break. Now the question is still here. If they don't get this question right, the way that I've set it up, they will not continue on to the next section. So this question is going to be basically, what is the secret code or word, or however you want to put it. This secret code is something that you're going to put on the board, and so it is not going to be a quiz question. So in order for you to set this up so that it won't let them go on if they don't have the right code, you're going to have to do the data validation. And you can do a number, you can do text, you can do a specific length, or a regular expression. So let's say we're going to do a number. You can do greater than, less than, equal to, in between, all those other things. I wanted to show you a different way to set it up. So we're going to do equal to, and we're going to make up a number. This number is what you're going to put on the board, and your custom error message is going to be, look, that's it. It's a required question, and unless they get it right, it will not let them go on. That's how you set that up. Now, we went to responses, we looked at my grades, but what we didn't look at is that the fact that you can have a spreadsheet attached to your form and all of your responses can go in there. So when you go to set up your spreadsheet, you're going to click on this little icon, and most of the time you're going to create a new spreadsheet, and it's going to have the name of your form, and it's going to then call in parentheses, I can't see that, in parentheses it's going to have the word responses. You can also select an existing spreadsheet and just put it in a new tab. So if I click here, it's going to give me the option once I hit select to actually look at my spreadsheets I have in Google Drive and choose the one that I want it to go into. So you've got that option as well. We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and create a new spreadsheet and go to create. Okay, it says it's linking to the spreadsheet. It's taking its time. As it opens the spreadsheet, we'll come back to here. Over here I have some settings for this. I can set up to get email notifications when I get a new response. So if you're doing a form where you're actually not doing a quiz and you want to know when people have replied, you can get an email notification. You can, as we did just a minute ago, select the response destination. You can unlink the form from a spreadsheet, and you do that right here. You can download your responses as a CSV file. You can print all your responses. And so if you need to keep, for some reason, a copy of this in a printed format, you can print these out, and then you can delete all the responses. Let's say you're doing this again. You did it last year and you want to do it again. You can delete all your responses and do it again. What I normally do is I go up here and I make a copy of the form, and then it breaks the link to the spreadsheet and I can create a new one. To me, that just is clean and you're not using the same sheet again. All right, so we're going to go over here to the spreadsheet that it created, and you'll notice that it has my response in it. It has the date that I took it, and it has the time. It also collected my email address, and it gives me my score, which wasn't part of that before, and doesn't have anything for the secret code because that was just added, and then it's got my answers for everything else. We will look next time at how you can manipulate this data, how you can get averages and all that kind of stuff. Although a lot of the stuff that you want to do is already done for you in Google Forms now. It used to not be that way, but Forms is pretty powerful by itself right now. All right, so for your assignment this week, you are going to create a quiz. It is going to be self-grading, and you are going to share that with everybody in the group just like you shared the last one. I would like those of you in the class to take at least 2 other quizzes, if not more, because we're going to take this data and we're going to use it in studying the spreadsheet side of Google Forms. And learn a little bit more about Google Sheets. All right, well, have a great week, and if you need anything, feel free to email me. My email is right here. It's pdpriest@murraystate.edu, and I will see you again online.